everyone. This is Jace here doing another card review. This time I got my boy, my man, Connor here,
Yo,
and we got 6 cards to review. 3 Cargo, 3 Royal Paladin. Been a pretty slow week, but the cards revealed have been pretty good, I feel. So let's just jump into it. So first up, we got Spill Over Dragon. So it's a grade 2 10k with 5000 shield. And on rearguard, at the end of the battle that it boosted and it attacked the Vanguard, you counterblast 1 and put it into your soul. And you retire a grade 2 or less rearguard. So, Connor, what do you think of this card?
I think it'll be pretty good with Dragonic Overlord, especially if Kagero has a way to countercharge, because this puts something in your soul to use for Dragonic Overlords. You get to retire something, so you can get rid of your opponent's annoying back row cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the soul part's pretty huge for me. Like, some people probably won't like that you're putting your own rearguard into the soul, but it fuels up your Dragonic Overlord and maybe other cards in the future. And then,
I mean,
what?
putting stuff into soul isn't anything new from rearguard. I mean, we had Holy Mage Elio for Gold Paladins that came in the start deck that if it hit, you put it in the soul and call one of the top 3. But I feel like this is a 1-for-1. I don't think it's like super insane. I think it's just there. I don't know if it'll be as good as some of the other cards for Kagero, because obviously this is just a common, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. I feel like it has potential, but it could also be just one of those cards that you don't see too much of,
Yeah.
because we've got a lot of good Kagero stuff coming out.
Yeah, this card could possibly be good in a Vortex Dragon beatdown style of deck.
I could see
Cause
that.
it's a nice little early game, and then if you want to like go ham late game, then you can just go into Overlord, get a force marker, and then you have extra soul if you have like multiple Overlords in hand. But this can like abuse Vortex Dragon very early on.
Uh, I think this card, depending on if we see any starters with the Forerunner ability, or if we're just going to stick with the whole ride over this and then draw a card, I think it'll change how good this card is. Because, like, right now as it is, we don't know if any starters have Forerunner. So we don't know if taking out your opponent's starter is going to be any good, but if it's even possible. But if it is, then this card could be really impactful in the early game. Could stop a lot of things that starters can do, because they're pretty useful most of the time.
Yeah. It's kind of like back to that Nahalem argument me and Noah had in the last video, where like the better rear guards there are earlier in the game, the better this card becomes.
Well, seeing as we've only seen Royal Paladin stuff, I mean, this seems pretty good against Royal Paladin, because they seem to have this focus on calling stuff from either your hand or Superior calling a specific card from the deck and then giving the rear guards power. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this could be pretty good, because it can take out Marin in the back row. So it can stop that, and that's probably going to be a 4 of in most Royal Paladin decks, because it's pretty insane.
Yeah. With
But yeah.
with this card being a common, it makes me wonder how good the higher rarity retire stuff's gonna be, because this is already like pretty good. It just depends if you run it, depend on the other retire cards in the game, and then what like the focus of your deck is around, and if you extremely need rear guards.
What I'm interested in is the fact that it's only a common. Like, we haven't seen, I don't think, any of the double or triple rares for Kagero yet, but we've seen like a double and a triple for Royals, and they seem pretty good. But
Yeah.
if Kagero's getting cards like this that are just going to be common, I think the higher rarity stuff can be pretty dang insane.
Yeah. And it's also good for those budget players out there.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, so I like the card. I think it has potential. It just depends on everything else. Yeah, I think I'm ready to move on.
Yeah.
So, second version of Dragon Orb and Knight. This one's in the trial deck, and then the one we reviewed last time is just in the start deck. So, this one, grade 2, 10k, 5k shield. While it's on rearguard and it attacks the Vanguard, if your opponent has 3 or less rearguards, it gains 5,000 power for the battle. So, this has good potential because you can hit some pretty good numbers with the 8k grade one, so you can hit 23 super easily. And it's a free buff. And you're just going off of what Kagero usually does, which is just depleting the opponent of resources, so you get bonuses off of it. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Connor?
Well, from what we've seen, since Nahalem got its effect change, but from what we've seen, I'm kind of reluctant to say that this card's any good because they seem to have a lot of retiring effects that occur after the battle. So, like Spillover Dragon, for example, after it attacks, you get to retire something. So this would have to be like your second or even third attack if your opponent has like 5 rear guards, because Overlord doesn't retire; it just has that restand effect.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, they won't want a perfect guard or rear guard, but you never know because that takes out the second attack from Overlord. But I don't think this card is insanely good. I think it's decent for budget players, but I don't personally like it because, I mean, Kagero does have a lot of power boosting effects, with like Gojo being a big one for boosting this, but I don't know because since the shield buffs on triggers and such, and on grade ones too, that I feel like those 23 number, like I don't feel like that's gonna be too insane actually compared to some of the other stuff.
Yeah, if you're just running like a beatdown style of deck, then this would be pretty good.
Yeah.
If you don't care for controlling the board too much. If you just want to hit high magic numbers, then this card's good, but in like a control style of Kagero, it's like better stuff probably run.
Well, even if you're not trying to like control the board, this requires you to control the board because your opponent has to have 3 or less rear guards for it to get +5.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it could be okay in Vortex Dragon. I just think you would rather just run more Vortex Dragons on the rear guard circle because they just continuously get +5 for each one you retire. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like this card that much. I don't think it's the best.
Yeah. Okay. On to the next one.
Ah, yes.
Dragon Knight Nahalem, the big boy. So he got a new iteration. He's now at 10k power, and whenever he's placed on rearguard, you counterblast 1 and retire a back row unit, and Nahalem gets 5,000 power. So, like this and Vortex Beat is gonna be, it's gonna be so good.
I like that it's when it's placed, but I don't like how you can't just continuously do it. But I feel like if you could just counterblast 1, retire one of your opponent's rear guards, and then give this +5 as many times as you wanted, then I feel like it would be insane. Maybe if it was a once per turn, then it wouldn't be that bad. But I don't like the when it's placed clause. I feel like it could work well with Dragon Armored Knight, but I don't see that card having much potential. But I feel like this card will be pretty good again, depending on how well the back row rear guards are. Like we've already seen that Marin's pretty insane. Again with the starter thing, if they do have Forerunner, then this will be really good against that because this doesn't require any grade of Vanguard, which I'm glad we've seen this. We've seen the game going back to the whole like you don't need a grade 3 or greater Vanguard for things. Like I think this is pretty good, but it's
Yeah.
only on place on rear guard, so I don't know. It's okay. I like it. I like the +5. I mean, it. I'd say it's just like better Dragon Armored Knight. It's like Spillover and Dragon Armored Knight combined into one.
Yeah.
Uh, and you don't have to put this in the soul, but the soul thing is pretty good for Dragonic Overlord's effect, but I don't know. Sometimes you'll want to keep your rear guards, especially if you're actually running Dragon Armored Knight, and
Yeah.
it's pretty good to keep your rear guards up, but because you're wanting to just beat them down.
Yeah. I
But
think.
yeah, I like this card a lot. I think it's good.
Yeah. I'm wanting to playtest Vortex Dragon Beatdown so much after seeing all these cards, cause like if you just have your Vortex Dragon on the Vanguard or on a rear guard, and you play this and pop something, then you're swinging 23 plus on both this column and the Vortex column, assuming you have boosters,
Mhm.
and that's you're retiring something and giving power to your field, which is like it's like Narukami kind of, but as Kagero. It's really
Yeah,
weird, but I like it a lot.
I feel like cards like this just make Gojo super insane. Like because Kagero, like with all these buffs and stuff that they're getting, like the +5s and things, that's something like I just felt Kagero used to just be like, oh, you just retire like everything your opponent has
And
and get
swing like
some power.
Vanguard.
Yeah, and then swing. Uh, but I like this card. It brings some more power to the rear guards. Because I feel like Kagero, depending on what Dragonic Waterfall's effect will be, uh, Kagero right now is looking to be a Vanguard centric deck. So you're mainly going to be wanting to drop your force markers on Vanguard. So being able to have rear guards that give them self power uh, can make this deck pretty insane because uh, not only can you control the board, but you can also swing for decent numbers. But like with Royal Paladins, as we've seen, they're mainly a rear guard centric deck. So this being able to take out back row is really good. Um, but they're going to be swinging huge with their rear guards rather than Vanguard.
Mhm.
But Kagero, so far with Draconic Overlord and Vortex Dragon being shown, they're going to be swinging huge for mainly on their Vanguard.
Yeah,
Except with Vortex Dragon. Vortex Dragon gets power on the rear guard too, so it's pretty good. I like this card.
yeah. This and Vortex on the rear guard, and then plus Dragonic Overlord on the Vanguard. You're swinging hard, like,
Yeah.
and then if they have Dragonic Overlord hit, then you're swinging so much. It's so much power they have to deal with, and the still losing resources on the field for it, which is just so good.
There's only one thing like that I don't know. It makes the card a bit iffy, but the whole shield buff thing, we're gonna have to see how that like really affects the game because they increase the shields by like 5,000 or 10,000 on some of them,
Yeah.
and then um, they only increase the rear guards by like 1,000. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how the games play out because you're gonna have a lot more shields. So the game's like it's gonna be sort of like stride where it takes like maybe 2 or 3 strides sometimes to finish off your opponent, but it's gonna be like you're gonna be swinging with rear guards a lot and missing a lot. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Uh, except maybe with Royals being uh, huge rear guards, maybe you're not gonna be hitting with your Vanguard that much. But I don't know. Either way, I think this card's pretty good. I don't know how insane like hitting 23 will be. I think it's like gonna be the norm now to be hitting 23 on rear guard attacks because of the guard boost. So I don't know. I think this card is decent, pretty good, and I feel like even with the guard boost, it still has really good potential because of the fact that it can knock out back row, so it can take out a lot of things. I feel like it's not going to be that great against Nova grapplers because they're going to be an Excel deck, so they're going to have extra front row spaces, so they're probably going to call mostly to those. But I feel like it's going to be good against the other decks in the format.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. On to next one. So we got High Dog Breeder Akane. Ooh. This is the first triple rare of the set. And there's like a little gold circle around the triple rare at the bottom, which I like a lot. But she's a grade 2 10k with 5k shield, and then whenever you play her on Vanguard or Rearguard, you counterblast 1 and call a Pongal from your deck and shuffle your deck. And then whenever it's boosted by a high beast, it gains 3000 power. And then Pongal, whenever it's placed on Rearguard, if there's another you in the same column as it, you soul charge 1. And if you soul charge the trigger, he gains 5000 power. So, like, this dynamic duo is really good, I think. Because it depends how much Royals are going to be using soul. Because the only thing we've seen using soul is Alfred early, but it's a very specific soul it has to grab. So if you soul charge Blaster Blade, that's like godly, I feel. But early game, this combo is gonna be really good.
I personally, I don't know how I feel about it because I feel like even without like the Pongal thing, I feel like the boost by a high beast could be really good depending on what other high beasts we see. Because right now we haven't seen any others besides, I'm pretty sure Wingal's a high beast. I could be wrong, but that really only buffs Blaster Blade, so it's not going to be great to boost this. But I like the Soul Charge. It sucks that Pongal doesn't have anything really to do with Soul Saver, so we don't know about that right now. But it's nice that we do get Soul Charge because I imagine that Soul is going to be pretty important for Royals. I feel like they're going to get quite a few effects that require you to Soul Blast. So I feel like this is really good. You trade a Counterblast for a Soul Charge.
And a free unit.
Yeah, and a free unit. But I like the Soul Charge, and then if it's a trigger, it gets +5. But other than that, I mean, there's not much to say about Pongal. It's pretty good, I guess. It's Soul, and it can boost itself, but I don't think it's too insane. And then Akane, I can see it being pretty good. I feel like it's good for like an early game beatdown playstyle for Royals. Since we're not going to have any more of that grade 2 BS where you can just sit on grade 2 when your opponent can't play the game. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be pretty good. But after you get the Pongal combo thing, this is really just hitting for like 21 normally without any other boosts or anything. But I don't know how insane that'll be. I think the card is pretty good.
I think, yeah, this card I feel is going to be really good. Because, like, if you combo this with the new Marin, then for Counterblast 2, you get a draw, you get a Pongal, and you get a Soul Charge. And you get at least 3000 extra power. So, like, if you call this to one side of the rear guard, and then you call Pongal on the other side where Marin is, like, theoretically speaking, you can hit 23 on that column if you soul charge a trigger. But even then, you can still hit 18 on that column if you miss the trigger. But that's like some really good value for Counterblast 2 free unit draw and a soul charge and more power.
I think it's okay. Yeah, I don't really hate the combo. I don't think it's amazing. It's good.
Yeah, I think this is a really good card. Like, I feel like this could be used in premium, even, but I don't want to get into that too much because we won't be playing it. Yeah. Anything else, lad?
Not really. I mean, cards are decent. I don't think they're like super amazing. I like how Royals are shaping up to be more rearguard based, like call cards from your hand or deck and then give them power and then draw a card. I like replenishing your hand and stuff. I think it's going to be a pretty good deck for the first format, and I think these cards might be mainstays in the first deck, depending on what other stuff we see. But yeah, I like it. I think Pongal might be a 2 of, and then Akane might be a 3 of. But yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the best, but yeah.
Last card, Miru Biru. So you just call him in the rear guard, behind the Vanguard. He gains 5,000 power. Although
it's a base 7,
yeah,
but it does have 10 shield. So I mean,
it is a high beast also. So you could swing 25 turn 2 with Akane.
yeah, but do you really want to be running this in your deck? I mean, I don't like it. I think it's bad.
Yeah,
Unlike the Kagero common we've been seeing, this is just a really bad common. Like it's I don't even think budget players will play it. It's just terrible. I think it's bad.
yeah.
I don't think it'll see any experimentation at all. It's a bland, boring card that doesn't really do much. It's 7 base, so it's like you're pretty much getting 4,000 if it's behind the Vanguard because it should be an 8 base, but yeah, it's not amazing. It's not good. I think it's bad. I mean, it's a 10k boost for Akane, but and then if it's in your Vanguard, it's a 15 boost. Ooh, spicy. No,
Yeah.
I think it's bad.
Yeah, pretty much
Really disappointing.
Akane turn 2 25k is like the only potential this card's gonna have.
Yeah, and even then, I don't think a 25 attack on turn 2 is going to be that insane.
Yeah.
But that's mostly how I see it. I can't wait to see some of the Nova Grappler stuff and some of the OTT and especially Blaster Blades effect. Like, I'm excited to see what that is because I don't know if they'll stick with the whole retire something. I imagine that might be something they could do, but I feel like with how the rest of Royals is shaping up to be, I think it might have something to do with calling to the rear guard and drawing and giving it power because that seems to be what most of the Royal Paladin stuff has been doing.
Yeah, I like that it's not just call a Royal Paladin from your deck. Like, there's no limit to that, unless if it was specified, but like, the first Alt Miles Stride, that was pretty dumb. Like, flip one over, call a grade 2, gain power, and then gain even more power. Like, what? And then your grade 2 usually do something on call? Or gets more power? Which is like, what?
Yeah. Just a note for Akane, I think the card would have been really insane if it said search your deck for one high beast, call it to rear guard. Then I think the card would be absolutely insane and it would see play all the time.
Yeah, the Miru
But
Biru combo, it would be more consistent.
yeah, but you wouldn't get the soul charge with Pongal, unless you called it.
Yeah,
But
but you get
yeah,
a
no.
25k column.
Oh my gosh, that's so well. No, it's only 25 Vanguard, so it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
majorly insane. Wow, nah. I just don't like this card. I don't think it's we play at all. Mirubiru has been always bad, always bad card. Uh, sad though. Looks nice. I like the art. Looks like a freaking egg, but I don't know.
Okay.
Not much to say about it except that it's bad.
Jesus. Okay. Uh, yeah, that's all the cards for today. You have any last thoughts about all the cards we saw, Connor?
Uh, I feel like Kagero's shaping up to be a really cool, interesting deck. I feel like it's going to have multiple different decks you can play with Vortex Dragon and Overlord. Waiting to see the effects on the Alfred from the set and the Dragonic Waterfall.
Mhm.
Because I feel like those could be their own separate decks. I imagine the Alfred will probably play with Alfred early in the deck, possibly. I don't know. It's not confirmed if we're getting Gancelot in set one. I imagine we might, but I don't know. But yeah, Kagero is shaping up to be a fun deck. Royals is shaping up to be just Royal Paladins. I mean, there's not much to say about them. They've pretty much done this stuff forever.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking how Kagero's looking, and Royals aren't looking that bad either. I'm excited for both decks. I think they're going to be good, and I can't wait to see the other two clans.
Yep. Pretty much same. So, I just like the more beat down style Kagero's going for. Cause like
Yeah,
during the first season, it wasn't. It was literally just swing with the end, swing with rear guard, swing with the end. Like there wasn't
yeah,
much going on other than, oh, do I have the end in hand and did I hit? Then yeah, you do you. So
yeah.
I like there's like a lot more interaction going on.
I really like how the effects from the start deck got changed in the base power because like Nahalem from the start deck, I thought it was pretty good. It was like Berserk Dragon, but I don't know. I like the new Nahalem in some ways. I don't like the when it's placed, but yeah. Other than that, I think Kagero is going to be really good. I think Royals have potential. We haven't seen much of the like insane Royal Paladin stuff besides I'd say the grade ones are pretty good so far. Marin's really good, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think it's funny how uh Royals have gotten a double and a triple R revealed, and you're still more impressed with Kagero than Royals.
Well, I mean, yeah, because the double and triple, like the only insane card I've set like that I've seen for Royals so far has been Marin. The other grade one that's like Marin, I forgot its name. The freaking what's I'm searching for it.
Alan.
Yeah, Alan. Uh, yeah, I mean that's like the only other insane stuff I've seen for Royals. But so far, from what I've seen with Kagero, it's looking to be like a pretty cool deck. I'm excited to do some Vortex Dragon testing myself. I'm definitely going to be picking up the deck.
Okay. Thank you all for watching. Uh, this is Jace,
And this is Connor.
and we will see you back sometime next week with like 6 or something, 5 to 6, 7 something amount of cards. Okay. Bye guys.